Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and you are watching the Intune tutorial. In this video, we are going to learn how to use the Autopilot 2.0. So before couple of months back, Microsoft did a big change in the Autopilot process. After almost 5-6 years later, they changed the Autopilot process. So this is not a completely change. This is an additional feature Microsoft provide. If you want to use the Autopilot 2.0, there is a different way to perform the Autopilot on the device. In this video, we are going to learn how to use this Autopilot new profile that is called Autopilot 2.0, or some of the people are saying this is the new way of Autopilot deployment. And just would like to tell you the old Autopilot process still exists. It's not removed from the Intune, but the new additional feature is added in a Autopilot. And the additionally thing in this video, we are going to learn about the differentiate in between the old autopilot process and the new autopilot process. I will explain you parallelly how the old autopilot process was working and what the changes done in the new autopilot. So agenda in this video, what we are going to cover up, the prerequisite are required for new autopilot, license is required, a step for the autopilot deployment methods, what are the deployment methods are available now in 2.0, device group preparation, how to prepare for your device group. And here is one more point, no device hash value is required. So in this new autopilot process, you do not require to collect the hardware device ID that will automatically taken care by Microsoft in backend. For replacement the hardware ID, you have to create a group in such a way that automatically it will find out the device ID and you can perform the autopilot process. And then the deployment for the autopilot profile to the test device. Let's understand the prerequisite configuration. So if you already using the old autopilot process, that means is all these prerequisites are done in your Intune. So do not require any modification. So do not do any modification than the existing Intune, because your Intune already was running and you were able to do the old autopilot profile. Old autopilot way and the new autopilot are having the same prerequisite. Here is what we have, the configure MDM, that I will show you in when we'll move it to the Intune console. How to set up for the Intune enrollment, company branding, subscription. These are from the Active Directory. From the Intune in terms, enable the enrollment status page. As I said, if you already using the old autopilot profile, so do not require any modification in the enrollment status page, that will use same as it is. Ensure user can enroll the device in Intune. The user should have the proper rights, enough rights allocated to that user, so that user can able to add the device into Intune. Assign the Intune license to the user. Intune should have the user should have the Intune license, either your EMS or your Intune suite or anything else, whatever types of license you are using, that should allocate it to the user. Here is in a license in terms. If already you are running the Intune infrastructure, that means is you are good with the license terms. You do not need any additional license for autopilot. Your existing Intune license is more than enough to perform the your autopilot. Now understand the supported device. Here is a little bit change in terms of your old autopilot process and the new autopilot process. In new autopilot process, you must be having the minimum version of Windows 11 22H2, or all higher version automatically it will support it. Lower version will not support the new autopilot process. If you having the new old Windows version, in that case you have to use old autopilot process. Here is the following additions are supported: Windows 11 Pro, Pro Education, Pro Workstation, Enterprise, and Education. If you seen it here, home edition is not mentioned because home edition is not supported by the autopilot process. The reason behind is home edition cannot be joined to the intra. So that home edition can only registered in the intra, and autopilot directly it will add it to the as a intra joined, not a intra registered with the autopilot. That is the reason autopilot won't support the home edition. Here is the steps for the autopilot. After completing the prerequisite, we'll create a device group, and then we'll be creating our policy, and then we'll assign or deploying to the our device group what we created. Here is one more big change in the old autopilot and the new autopilot. Old autopilot process was supporting user driven and the self driven mode, but in the new autopilot it's supporting only the user driven mode. It's a single mode supported. Let's move to the Intune console and we'll do the practical in our lab, and we'll understand how we can use the Intune Autopilot 2.0. Click on the device, and first we'll check our the enrollment, automatic enrollment, and this option should be selected on all. If it is not selected on all and you are using the sum, then make sure you should have a dynamic group that contain or that is a dynamic device group that contain all new devices discovered in intra. If it is not set up, then you should go with the all selected. If not, your autopilot will fail. So let me select this all. Another prerequisite is about your enrollment status page. Let's go to the enrollment, and here is the enrollment status page. If already you were doing or using the old autopilot profile, then no need to modify this page again. If you are doing the first time, in that case just set up your the enrollment status page. So here is the show app, the profile configuration progress is yes. This is a timeout window. If your time 60 minute, if your autopilot is running on 60 minute, and after the 60 minute automatically that user will throw the error, and what it will show the message your autopilot got failed. And this is what the message here, the message what you want to pass out to the user can type it here, mention the whatever information you want to show on the during the autopilot screen. If the autopilot process got failed, turn on the log collection. Yes, we need the diagnostic log. Only show the device provisioning out of band, that we don't want to show it. Block the device until the app is the profile installed. Okay, and all user are reset to the install device if the installation error. Yes, all user use the device installation error. It's up to you and your the company what they want to set up in the enrollment status page. According to my requirement, I have modified this, but this is a standard to set up a enrollment status page. Now after this, what we have, we need to create a group. Let's go to the group and create here group for the autopilot profile. Now mention is a autopilot deployment, and I am mentioning here passing a message, do not add device manually. In this group we are not going to add any device manually. This is a static group, and here is a role assigned to this intra roles. We don't want to assign any role. Members type will be assigned. Member owner, we are going to assign the owner, and owner will be a Intune provisioning. Intune, click here, go to enterprise application and search for the Intune provisioning client. Select this, and this is the owner. This is a service account. It's the Microsoft created and Microsoft managing this account. This will help us to find out the device and do the autopilot. Members, we are not going to select any of the member manually. That will taken care automatically by the service account. So we are good with the our one account. One more account we needed to add the users. Autopilot, Autopilot user group. And here we're going to assign the owner if you want, and the users Autopilot user. If you are adding all the users, then well and good. If not, manually you can add the users, which user is going to performing the autopilot. That user should be part here. Is the admin and then the Harvansh and edit. I think I did a mistake here. Let me go and again check. Not this. I need. Or if you are not assigning any owner also. Oh come on, what happened? Okay, this is already there. Why? Create. Owner is not mandatory, but the members are mandatory. The user are performing the autopilot. Here we are good with the group, and now we're creating the policy, autopilot policy. Go here, and here you see it's a device and the deployment profile. These two things were using in the old autopilot process. How the old autopilot process was working: first you have to collect the device hash value and then add under the device section under here, and then add that manually device ID. This is a device ID to the group, and that group will assign to the your autopilot profile. And this is what the autopilot profile was using earlier. But now in the new autopilot, we are not going to use all these two options. We have a new options called a device preparation policy. Now create here, go the basic, autopilot deployment, and description you can mention anything. Go next. Now here, which group you have to assign? It's a autopilot deployment. That's the group without any device, without any user, and the owner was a Intune provisioning client. Go next. Let's select here. As I explained, Intune autopilot, sorry, autopilot 2.0 will support only the one type of profile, that is called a user driven, and the deployment type will be a single user. Join type is a Microsoft intra join, so it won't support hybrid and it won't support for the registered also. User account type will be a standard. If you make it as an administrator, then that account will get a administrator rights on that user, that laptop or the device. Let's make it as a standard user. Minutes allowed before showing the error. So 60 minutes that autopilot profile will run. If it is exceed the 60 minutes, then autopilot profile will throw the error. And here is the error message. What you want to show on the error message, you can type it here, or the message will be print if the autopilot got failed. Allow users to skip the setup after the multiple attempt. If multiple attempt got failed, then user can get the message. Now you can skip this step and go move forward. The next step, show link to the diagnostic. Yes, here is a very important point. Application. It's a new feature added in the new autopilot. You can add the application during the autopilot. The app will installed whatever app you are selecting here. Let's select the app. But here is a one thing I want to show you. Let's go to the another Intune tab and application. Go to the apps. And all these apps, what we see in it here, that should tagged or deployed for as a all users or all device. If it is a specific group, then the application won't install. You have to add as a all users. If your application deployment is a type of all user or all devices, then you can add here. Or what you can do, we create a one group, the user group. On that you can deploy that application. So we have two ways here. One is either it should be a part of all user or all devices, or you can tag the group name, include and can add the group name for the autopilot what we created and added the user. This group you have to add it. Don't deploy to the autopilot deployment. Two options. If any application is not part of any dynamic group, then application won't deploy. Okay. Now let's see what we did it here. Application is deployed for all devices. So this app company portal will install automatically to our autopilot device. Another thing is a Google Chrome. Let's see this application. This is all, this also selected for the all device. Okay, include all device. And let's check for the other also, Microsoft Edge. Okay, and this is okay. Let me do one thing. I am removing the Google Chrome from the deployment. I don't want to deploy this application and will add to the our applications. Let me remove this. Now this Google Chrome is not part of any of deployment. Perfect. Done. VLC, how it is deploying. Let's see the application. And deployment type is a all user. So we'll be testing if the application is deployed to all user, if the all device, or if it is not deployed to anyone. All three types of application we are going to add here. Let's go the one by one. One, two, and Microsoft Edge, and you're the VLC. I added the four application, and four application are having the different type of deployment. Google Chrome is not deployed, but I added here. Let's see the Google Chrome will install or not. Company portal is deployed to all devices, and the Edge is deployed to the all user. This VLC deployed to the all devices. Here is the script part. You can add maximum 10 script in the your deployment if you want to execute anything. Okay, so let's go for the next. Hashtag is not required, scope tag is not required. The assignment. Now here is the assignment where you are going to deploy. So autopilot user group what we created, that should be the part of your deployment. So zero device, two users should be there in the group. Okay, so we are good now here. We are ready with the policy. We are ready with the deployment. We done all the prerequisites. We check, we set up all these things, and let's save the policy. Now, once you deploy it, it should be shows as assigned, and the group configured should shows here the assigned, and then we are good with the our new autopilot profile. After that, take it a device. Okay, let me show you the another device. This is the new built device I'm using for the autopilot. Let's go for the next. Go for the next. Skip. And let's wait for it. Okay, so we are getting this screen now. It asking for the device name. In old autopilot and the new autopilot, this is a big difference. Earlier we can define the naming conversion for the device, but in new autopilot you should define the manually device name. I can mention it's like India 54631 laptop. Let's wait and we'll see what is the next. Okay, just wait, hold on, and we'll see how this autopilot will be working. I don't want to escape anything. Okay, so it's taking a little bit time. I think I have some problem with my that device. Let me go to the another device here. Okay, so I taken the two device and now here it asking for the account. So it's a admin. Let me put it admin at the rate us cusclouds clouds dot microsoft.com. micro. Click on next. Oh, come on. Admin at the rate eusclouds dot on. Okay, so it's not reaching to the Intune console. It's showing the Microsoft. That logo has to change. We need to wait, and once it reach to the Intune console, then the logo will change here. Let's wait for a minute. Replicate the policy. Now you can see in it's taking sometime. It's taking some time. If you enter the your account here, and the Microsoft logo will change when it point to your Intune console. This is the branding logo you can see in it here. Once it's come, then enter your password, sign in, and it will show the process based on your the enrollment status page. And once all is done, then you can see in the all the application got installed and devices done the autopilot. So we can wait until this autopilot process done. So here is the device preparing. It will take some time to prepare the device preparation, and then it will do the setup, your corporate certificate, and all these things, and the account setup, and all these, all the after all the steps, then your autopilot will done. We have to wait for some time. Once it done the complete process, and then we are good with the autopilot. I'm just keeping on hold this screen. Okay, so it's running. Device preparation part is done, and it's running for your this part. Device preparation is done, and it's running for the device setup. It will take some time. The security policy one is applied. This is not no setup needed, no setup needed, and it's running and waiting for the account setup. So once all three steps are done, then we are good with our deployment. Now the autopilot process is done, and let's accept this and just wait for some time when this window configuration done. After done all the configuration, our autopilot completely done. And the other things is we can check out here under the devices whether the device is added or not here. Okay, so this is like on today, this is the device IND. This is what the name I mentioned for the device, and it's done the and it's a compliant. So in devices enrolled, it's doing the other configuration. Just wait for a minute, and all the applications will validate all the application is installed or not, and that's how we can perform the autopilot process. Okay, so let's wait still it's running. It was asking for the login, and again it's showing the account setup. Still it's not done. It's taking some time to complete, and the many features is already completed. The device preparation, device setup, and now it's working on the account setup. In the account setup also something is done, and really it will it's take some time to schedule all these things. Okay, so now the devices log in, and you can see in all the application what we selected that is got installed. Let me go to the control panel. Let's open the control panel, and let's check how many. So VLC came, or your the Microsoft Edge came, and let me find out how many application we added and how many got installed here. Let's go to the program and feature where it is. It's here. Microsoft Microsoft as beta is installed, VLC installed, but Microsoft Google Chrome has not installed. Let's find out why it is not installed. Let me go to uh, the devices and the policy. Go here and the our enrollment, device preparation, autopilot, and device setting tab. Let's click here and see the 1, 2, 3, 4 application was selected. VLC installed, Microsoft has installed, Chrome has not installed, and let's check the company portal. Company portal, COMPANY. Okay, so company portal also installed, but only the Google Chrome has not installed. Why the Google Chrome has not installed? Let's investigate. Go to the application and the app and the Google Chrome, Microsoft Chrome. Initially in starting I shows you the Google Chrome will not installed because this deployment has not done. If it is a part of a deployment, either our group, the user group what we created for autopilot, or it's a part of the deployment or your all device or all user, then only it can installed. But rest of the application already it installed in our in our laptop. So autopilot is done now. So guys, thank you for watching this video. See you soon in my the next video with coming up some interesting session. Thank you. See you soon.